Liberty's kids.
We shall have to retreat to keep our army intact.
But General, Philadelphia.
We'll be lost, I'm afraid.
Once news we've occupied Philadelphia reaches France, the French will turn their backs on the rebels for good. Much too vain to fight for a lost cause.
Make way for a hero! His bravery won the day!
Which eventually led to Gentleman Johnny Burgoyne's surrender at Saratoga. That was a sight to see.
Dr. Franklin! Dr. Franklin!
Hello, what is it?
My name is Jonathan Loring Austin, Secretary for the Massachusetts Board of War. I have urgent news from America.
Tell me, Mr. Austin, are the rumors true? Do the British occupy Philadelphia?
I'm afraid so. Congress has fled to York. Wait, there's even greater news. The British General Burgoyne has surrendered his army at Saratoga.
Come in, Mr. Austin. Christmas has come early this year.
Dearest Mother, so much has happened since I last wrote. Winter has arrived, and Philadelphia remains occupied by General Howe and his army. Moses and James took Dr. Franklin's printing press to York before General Howe's soldiers could confiscate it. The Continental Congress will, no doubt, make good use of it. As for Dr. Franklin's house, Captain John Andre has seized it and made himself quite at home. He dines often with Peggy Shippen, the daughter of a local gentleman with sympathies for the crown. The less I say about her, the better. Every night there is a ball. Well, I have gone to one or two to be polite. Under the circumstances, it is impossible to enjoy them. Everyone acts as if we were living in London. But the Americans always do something to remind us that we are in their country, in the midst of a war. Moses and James are now in Newport, in the colony of Rhode Island, to buy inks and papers for the press. From a merchant who, I believe, Moses said is Jewish. Little Henri is still here, however, and Captain Andre has delighted in giving him quite a bit of responsibility around the house. But here is my greatest secret. I don't like living with all these strangers, even if they are British. If only you were here, I'm sure I wouldn't be so confused. Your loving daughter, Sarah.
Yes, Ben, you were wise to move out of Paris to this chateau. It's closer to Versailles and far more private than my quarters at the hotel.
Not to mention more inconvenient for the French and British spies.
Dr. Franklin, Mr. Dean, I don't mean to interrupt, but I've just learned some very important news. Paul Wentworth, the chief of Britain's Secret Service, has arrived in Paris.
What in heaven would Wentworth be doing there?
He wants to meet with Dr. Franklin.
Burgoyne's defeat has obviously rocked the British government. Perhaps you should meet with him, Ben?
No, I want you to meet with him first. Hear him out, but commit to nothing. In the meantime, I will pay a private visit to France's foreign minister. We'll play the British off the French so we can get what we want.
And what exactly is that, Dr. Franklin?
check to your king. It appears we've flushed out a couple of English spies. Now we must seize the opportunity to meet with Comte de Vergennes. A ship sails for America in 4 days. Have these delivered by messenger.
You can count on me, Doctor. Good luck.
This should be the place. Would it be all right for me to look around? I want to check on the Rhode Island Brigade and see how they're doing against the British.
I suppose. There's no point in buying inks and papers if we don't have something to print.
I'll check at the State House and come right back here.
That telescope's imported from Italy. Can I help you find something in particular, sir?
I wrote you from Philadelphia about inks and paper.
Ah, yes. Dr. Franklin's man, Moses.
You've got a good memory.
Well, you and I do share the name of the man who led my people out of slavery in Egypt, Moses Michael Hayes, at your service.
If you don't mind me saying, I haven't met many Israelites.
Neither have I, for that matter. We are but a small fraction of the American population. But I take it, Moses, that you are a free man.
Yes, sir.
Many less fortunate than you have been bought and sold on the docks here in Newport. Some, I have to admit, by my own people.
And some in Africa by mine as well.
But forgive my manners. May I offer you something to eat or drink?
I wouldn't want to impose.
It won't be fancy, I assure you. I lost everything I own when a ship I purchased went down in a gale. In fact, I've only recently come out of debtor's jail. A lonely place, I can assure you. But I don't have to tell you what it feels like to not be free.
Makes a man value every day he is free.
Please.
Thank you.
It's a funny thing about freedom. A lot of people talk about it without really understanding it.
That's a fact.
I moved here because Rhode Island guaranteed freedom of religion. Well, my people here do have our own temple of worship, but we're still not considered full-fledged citizens. Still, I'd rather be a free man in the United States than a servant to the Pharaoh of England. I mean the king.
Moses!
Yes?
He works with me at the newspaper.
I see.
I found out about the Rhode Island Brigade, all right. They sent a list of people they suspect of being Tories to the Rhode Island Assembly. Now, the Assembly has posted a list of suspects that it's demanding take a loyalty test by signing an oath in public.
Mr. Hayes, I'm afraid your name is on this list.
All of France is impressed with the recent American victories, Dr. Franklin.
As I've told you before, the United States will win this war. With France at our side, it will take a matter of months, not years. That one looks quite tasty. Of course, that looks good too.
Please, Dr. Franklin, take them both.
I hate to ask too much of you.
France insists.
Merci beaucoup.
Unfortunately, Doctor, His Majesty King Louis does not wish to offend his brother-in-law, King Charles of Spain, by signing a treaty of alliance with the United States.
I thought this was between France and the United States.
Spain owns a vast amount of land in America. King Charles feels that if you have taken what is England's, then you most certainly will take what is his. And France cannot make any agreement without King Charles' approval.
I've been a patient man, and I don't mean to be rude, but given the circumstances...
At least stay and finish your pastries.
I'm sorry, but suddenly I feel in the mood for some English tea. Au revoir.
Surely now that the American capital has been taken, the rebels will see the error of their ways. No less than Lord North himself assures me that Parliament will soon publish new terms of settlement for the colonies.
I trust it will break their will as well as their backs.
Now, John, they are of British descent after all. No, I believe that